Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am obviously Adam now. This is a video I don't really want to do. I don't see why in 2020 we're still talking about these types of things, but here we are still talking about them. I want to be talking about the things us football fans love to hate talking about. Transfer rumours and how they wind us up. Manchester United and how they wind us up, or how good or how bad they are at this moment in time. The football players that we have and, you know, their football being good or bad. I want to talk about those kind of things. But constantly we see this insidious media. We see this disgraceful media in Britain rearing its ugly head and targeting young footballers. Raheem Sterling took a stand against this British media and against this British journalism over the last couple of years, pointing out how racist and unfair it was. Because, let's be real, that's exactly what it was. We've seen Raheem Sterling criticised for buying his mother a house, for going shopping, for going Poundland, for doing things that normal people do. Buying your mum a house, okay, normal people might not get to do it, but those are kind of things that we dream of. I've dreamt of that. People like, you know, that come off from places that aren't so well off. They dream of doing those kind of things. Being able to give your mother or your family or your parents that financial freedom in buying them a home. And when Raheem Sterling done this, he was vilified and made out to be some sort of criminal. And he took a stand against this, and he was right to do so. And when he took a stand against it, there was plenty of sympathy for him. But a lot of it was false sympathy. A lot of the sympathy came to him from people that had already seen it. We already knew about it in the media. We were already pointing it out on social media. But it took for Raheem Sterling to point it out himself with the platform that he has for some people to stand up and take notice. Now they did. But some of that was false sympathy. Because not only have they moved on from Raheem Sterling, but they've found their new targets. Now this video was going to be about Mason Greenwood today. I was ready to do a video about Mason Greenwood because I was unhappy with the way some of the journalism has been around him. Mason Greenwood being compared to Raval Morrison, which I think is unfair on both of those lads because they both have, you know, completely different lives. Raval Morrison had his own problems, and that's a sad story in itself. So to compare anybody that potentially does wrong to Raval, I think is unfair on Raval, but also it's unfair on Mason Greenwood. Because Raval's problems were well documented, and they're nothing like the issues or the situations that Mason Greenwood has found himself in. Mason Greenwood broke lockdown rules. Okay, he was wrong for that. He was punished for that. He was sent home from England, international duty, and he wasn't subsequently picked yet again. But since then, he's been hounded by the media. Rubbish stories have been written about him, and even some on social media have gone as far as accusing him of some horrid crimes that we've seen reported about other Premier League footballers as of yet unnamed. We've seen an article about a Premier League footballer being arrested for rape and sexual assault, which is a serious crime. The article said that player was over 20, in his 20s. He wasn't named, yet people on social media still rush to link Mason Greenwood with that. Now we see this horrible world of social media and tabloid journalism combining to try and drag somebody down. And it's a disgrace. This is a young lad of 19 years old who recently lost a friend through suicide, who has, yes, okay, he's made his mistakes, but they're not, you know, they're not fucking major mistakes. He's not committed a crime. He's not done anything wrong. And, well, lockdown rules are a crime, but you know what I mean? Like, he's not drink driving. He's not out there. Okay, he made a mistake. But to keep hounding him for that, constantly writing about him, and even going as far as to compare him to Raval Morrison at a time when it will be mentally difficult for him to be dealing with the issues that he has around, you know, the loss of his friend. Maybe the issues that he has in terms of his football and trying to get back to the right way on the pitch. But this is a boy that scored his first Champions League goal recently. And yet we're seeing this nonsense. And whilst I think people at Manchester United will be protecting him, I also think the football clubs have to take a stand against this type of media. They have to take a stand against this type of media. Because if that was a fan channel or a fan that was doing these kind of things, the club would take action against them. You know, me in my role as someone that works for Full-Time Devils, now Stretford Paddock, I've seen us get blocked from various things due to the fact that we give a platform for fan opinion. I've seen fans that work for the club give their opinion on the club on a fan cam, not be horrible, not be swearing, not be attacking anybody, just give an honest opinion on the football, and they've lost their jobs because of it at Manchester United. Yet these journalists and these corporations and these media outlets that constantly write this rubbish are allowed in every week. Now, I'm not saying censor the media or anything like that, but some of the shit that's been getting written, and we see it yet again today with Marcus Rashford, today in the newspaper for buying his family homes. What did we say about Sterling at the start of this? The false sympathy that arrived around him. And now Marcus Rashford is being targeted. Mason Greenwood is being targeted. Other players are being targeted. Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden made a mistake on England international duty. Guess which one's still being written about in a negative way? The young black lad. Come on, this is ridiculous. And now Marcus Rashford, who has had the cheek of standing up and demanding change, social change, positive social change, to help those less fortunate than himself, is now being targeted with some of these articles about buying his family homes. Now, some of you will say, Adam, the article's not that bad. It's just pointing out that he's bought houses. It's stating a fact. Okay, it may be. But these guys know what they're doing. These guys know the narrative that they are pushing. These guys know the type of comments, that will come from these types of articles. They know the audience that they are pandering to. They know it. And since when did being well off mean you couldn't help those less fortunate? Oh, because you've bought a house, you can't help those less off? Like, how does that make any sense? How can you expect any change in this world if you're looking at people like that? But still we see it. Young, black, successful footballers targeted by the British media. Now, some of you will want to say it's not racism. That, you know, we've seen things in the past for David Beckham. And, you know, we have. People were targeted. But let's not be naive here. I hate using that. I've done it again. But let's not. This is serious stuff that these guys are participating. They know the audience that they are playing to. And it's an utter disgrace that we see it again. Marcus Rashford having to come out and talk about this stuff. Why can't he just focus on what he's doing? Why does he have to be inundated with these bullshit comments that have been forced and pushed his way by these articles? Why does Mason Greenwood, as a young boy who has just lost one of his friends through suicide, and I know how that feels, why should he have to deal with half of these, you know, and to say, oh, don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Now, it's just whether you do good or bad, you're in the wrong. And look, some of you might say it's not racism. Look at comparisons that are there for you to see. Look with your own eyes. They don't want to see young minority people doing well and standing up for people that are less fortunate themselves. That's what they don't want to see. They want to push this hatred. They want to push this hateful rhetoric. Force all of us against each other and all that shit. And we need to stop playing with that. And the clubs need to take a stand too. The clubs need to take a stand. How are you allowing these people that write all this nonsense, that do all these things, swan up every day into your media room, and you're giving them free tickets, free food, free drink? Yeah, come in, relax, make yourself at home, and then go home and write all this nonsense about our players. The clubs need to take a stand too. We don't know how these players are feeling. Everyone's different mentally. What if someone's actually getting really down by this? And the club are just not doing anything about it? Now what I love is Rio, Gary Neville, loads of different people have come out and spoke about it. I love it. I love it. They're all standing up. But keep that same energy every single time it happens. Because we see it happen with other players too. We've seen it with, you know, the way the media writes about Paul Pogba. We've seen it, you know, with Raheem Sterling in the past. We'll see it in the future. We'll see it more with Rashford and Greenwood. That's why I said before, and I'll say it again. We got to protect them at all costs. Yes, Mason Greenwood made his mistake. But in the grand scheme of things, how is it any different to what Jack Grealish did? How is it any different to what Phil Foden did? In fact, it isn't. How many different players did we see breaking lockdown rules? Didn't Declan Rice and Mason Mount do the same at the start? Like, why aren't these lot all being targeted the same way? Anyway, another day where we have to deal with this shit. But one thing is for certain, the reason these media companies and these trash journalists and these trash tabloids do these things is because they know they will generate clicks. They will know they will generate hatred. They will know they will do all these things. And what's funny is the same type of people that they target, working class people, black people, immigrants, you know, refugees, Asian people, Muslims, these kind of people that they target, poor people. We're now coming up of all different colours, of all different backgrounds, of all different ethnicities. They haven't gone to uni to study journalism, and they're all coming through, kicking the door off this media stuff, and they're making the media scene their own. And that's what these lot are scared of as well. They're losing their relevance, and that's why they have to resort to these kind of dirty tactics to get clicks and to get views and to get reactions and to do all these things because they're failing. Anyway, make sure you keep stepping on their necks. Make sure you don't let them target a man like Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, or anybody else. I didn't stand for it when it was Raheem Sterling either. You know, just because they play for a different club or whatever. We should stand up for what's right. But yeah, this has really pissed me off, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Keep it locked. For now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.